Namaskar. Welcome to Nalanda's Webshala. I would like to thank Padma Bhushan Dr. Kanakji Rele, Founder Director, Nalanda Dance Research Center and Nalanda Nritya Kala Mahavidyalaya. I thank Dr. Umaji Rele, Principal, Nalanda Nritya Kala Mahavidyalaya, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the topic assigned today. I also thank to technical team of Nalanda Webshala, particularly Vaidil Rele Lal, Vignesh and Narendra, because of whom this video is coming in front of all of you. Friends, topic assigned to me for today's session is attributes of aesthetics and analysis and authentication. It is very important for all of us to note that I am not a dancer and I am nowhere related to make a comprehensive study of literature related to Indian dance or Indian classical dance. But there are many reasons because of which I am inclined to make a comprehensive study of this topic. I would like to share few important reasons how I am inclined to make a comprehensive study of this topic. When I joined Nalanda, I was asked to meet Padma Bhushan Dr. Kanakji Rele ma'am, and in her first discourse, she introduced me the culture of Nalanda. It was an astonishing experience to be in front of the maestro in dance. She introduced me the Nalanda culture. Throughout her discourse and deliberations, she was speaking about the quality she maintained, the way she nurtured Indian classical dance, the way she has substantially contributed to the dance literature. And now it is also important to note that her name is synonym with Mohiniyattam. But the point here is that throughout her discourse, she commented on many aspects of Indian dance. She commented on the discipline that she maintained. She commented on how she strived to make Indian classical dance as good as possible in today's context. But the major focus from my perspective was that she spoke about the aesthetic sense. I tried my best to understand from her what is aesthetic philosophy. Her deliberation was related with aesthetic values. She was speaking about aesthetic philosophy. She commented on aesthetic principles. I decided that I must make a comprehensive study from this stage onwards on the basic principles of aesthetics. I am very fortunate that in a very short span of time, I got the opportunity to work as the coordinator of NAC. Through this assignment, I got precious opportunity to have a kind of comprehensive discussions with Principal Dr. Uma Rele, who also strives her best to maintain the dignity of Indian dance through her contribution. And at times she used to discuss with me about upcoming seminars, conferences, workshops. She always strives to maintain the quality of the dance, and the theme of her discussion is always related to nurturing the aesthetic values and to understand the aesthetic values. Throughout my journey in college, I came across the performances and the productions of Nalanda, where the participants under the guidance of Padma Bhushan Dr. Kanakji Rele ma'am used to speak about aesthetic sense, aesthetic value and aesthetic principles. It is also important to note that I was asked to conduct workshops for the researchers in Nalanda, and the researchers from all over the world came to Nalanda, are coming to Nalanda and to do the research. When I discuss with them about their projects and when they comment on the theme of their project, they comment on aesthetic value and aesthetic principles along with other characteristic features of their research project. In due course of time, I became friendly with all faculty members, and somewhere when we used to discuss about different assignments, they speak about aesthetic values, they speak about aesthetic principles. It means that in Nalanda, wherever I go, I come across the terms like aesthetic values, aesthetic sense, aesthetic principles, aesthetic evaluation, aesthetic vision, so on and so forth. So this is one of the reasons because of which I decided that I will try my best to understand this subject and make a comprehensive study of this subject and understand what exactly the concept of aesthetics is. When I started making comprehensive study of this subject, I came across the words like Saundarya, Saundaryata, Saundarya Shastra, Saundarya Shastrajna, Saundarya Shastri, Saundarya Anubhav, Saundaryanubhuti, Saundarya Mimamsa, and so on and so forth in Indian literature and Indian criticism. It means that in Indian literature and in Indian criticism as well as in Indian dance, the concept of aesthetics is well explained, properly defined, and it is designed in such a way that any ordinary student can understand if he or she invests time to understand it. When we come across Indian literature to understand the concept of aesthetics, most of the people, most of the students try their best to understand rasa theory, rasa bhava, bhava rasa. I know I am not well versed with the concept of bhava, anubhava, vibhava, vyabhichari bhava, sthayi bhava. I also don't know what exactly does it mean. Vibhavanubhava, vyabhichari bhava, sanyogad rasa nirmiti, rasa nishpatti. It does mean that aesthetics is somewhere related to rasa theory from Indian context. I'll comment on this in due course of time. But at the outset, I would like to state few facts related to aesthetics. Friends, we will try our best to divide this topic in different groups so that we'll be able to understand in a proper way the concept of aesthetics. Any study on aesthetics will begin with understanding the concept what is aesthetics. After this, we will try our best to identify different theories of aesthetics. After studying different theories of aesthetics, we will try our best to understand what are the different approaches to study aesthetics. Of course, the study of aesthetics is all about study of aesthetic experience. When we study about aesthetic experience, we will come across the terms like aesthetic properties. Any study of aesthetics will consider types of aesthetics. We know, being dancers, most of you are familiar with Indian aesthetics, American aesthetics, African American aesthetics, African aesthetics, so on and so forth. We will also consider aesthetic composition, and India, being dancers, you must have came across the style of studying the Vigna for different purposes. we will also try our best to consider Vigna in the process of aesthetic experience. Our discussion, I will try my best to keep it related to Indian aesthetics with special reference to fine arts and arts. I am of the opinion that in most of the cases when the scholars, dancers, dance critics are speaking about aesthetic experience, they are speaking about aesthetic experience which is equal to spiritual experience. The concept of spiritual experience and aesthetic experience will also be discussed in due course of time. When it comes to making comprehensive study of aesthetics in India, we all come across the term Saundarya Shastra. We are familiar with this term. This is one of the most popular term in the study of aesthetics in India. But in India, we come across terms like Abhiruchi Shastra, Swasthya Shastra and Kala Swarup Shastra. But based on wide survey and comprehensive studies on aesthetics in India, Saundarya Shastra is one term which is unanimously accepted and widely used in different parts of country and the world. So we will go ahead with the term Saundarya Shastra. When we want to understand the basic concept of Saundarya Shastra, we need to understand what exactly is this Shastra or science, whether it is science or philosophy, because aesthetics is basically a branch of philosophy. Philosophy of aesthetics or philosophy of dance, basically aesthetics in dance is philosophy of dance. To understand what is that philosophy, we need to understand how Saundarya as a Shastra is presented in India and Indian context. In Indian literature, we come across the terms like Natya Shastra, Samaj Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Tarka Shastra, Samaj Shastra, Manas Shastra, Rajya Shastra and others. If we look at Artha Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Tarka Shastra, Natya Shastra, we come across certain facts of these Shastras. For example, there is a sage or a prominent individual who is expert in this field. There are certain rishis or other sages or intellectuals who come to this rishi or this intellectual individual to understand more about this topic. For example, if we are making a study of Natya Shastra, we come across the name Bharat Muni or sage Bharat. It is said that once sage Bharat was sitting in his hermitage, and according to one myth, sage Atreya came and he asked certain questions related to Natya. For example, the questions were like this: what is Natya? How it should be performed? How many actors are supposed to be included in Natya? So on and so forth. According to another myth, it was not only Atreya, but it was group of the intellectuals, and these individuals urged Bharat Muni or sage Bharat to say or to comment on Natya Shastra. And his commentary, his explanation, his analysis, his guidance is in front of us, to which we call Natya Shastra. Same is the story of maximum Shastras in India. But when it comes to making comprehensive study of Saundarya Shastra, it is very difficult for us to understand who exactly is the person or the rishi behind this. We must not forget that the researchers in India are of the opinion that reference to Saundarya Shastra is there in Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. So whatever Bharat Muni has commented on Saundarya Shastra or about the aesthetics is accepted. Of course, next generation after Bharat Muni, have tried their best to understand, comment on the term of Saundarya Shastra, and they came out with their own theories related to Natya or certain elements of Natya or literature. But till Abhinav Gupta, this theory was discussed by many scholars from different perspectives for different reasons. But Abhinav Gupta is one who has tried his best to give more explanation to Bharata's theory. So it is found that in Indian literature, after Abhinav Gupta's explanation, most of the critics have accepted the fact that whatever Abhinav Gupta has said based on Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra is correct and it should be followed, and most of the people are following it. There are no questions and cross questions related to the basic identities. The views of Abhinav Gupta and Bharat Muni on Natya Shastra and particularly on Saundarya Shastra can be summarized like this. We come across three terms: sensations, knowledge and emotions. Why I am giving reference to these three terms, that we need to understand. Basically, Saundarya Shastra or aesthetics is a term that is derived by Baumgarten. He referred certain terms in Greek such as aesthetiko, aesthenthai, aesthesis, aesthetics. In general, meaning of these three terms is to perceive, sense perception and perception. Based on these three meanings, we can come to conclusion that aesthetics is about perception, and this perception is related to sensations. The sense perception may be presented like this. Number one, either it may be sensational knowledge of emotions, or it may be knowledgeable sensations of emotions, or it may be emotional knowledge of sensations. So, a comprehensive study of these three terms, that is whether it is sensational emotional knowledge or knowledge of emotions and sensations, or whether it is sensational knowledge of emotions, that is known as aesthetic experience. I'll put it very simple. Based on sensational perceptions, in India, aesthetics is also known as Samvedan Shastra, because sensational knowledge beyond or before intellectual abstractions is known as aesthetics. So there are many definitions of aesthetics. By considering time constraints, I may not be in a condition to give you all definitions, but I can discuss with you at the outset or the core element of study of aesthetics, that what is not aesthetics. Mind well, my friends, aesthetics cannot be a pleasure. If it is a mere pleasure, it cannot be aesthetic. Aesthetics is all about aesthetic pleasure, because aesthetic stands for beauty, and a thing of beauty is always pleasurable. It pleases all, it pleases all the people, it pleases all the people all the time, it pleases all the people forever. So it means that it's not mere pleasure. In Indian context, if I have to speak, the sensibility of artist is also known as aesthetic sensibility. This aesthetic sensibility begins with artist's self-pleasure. This gaining self-pleasure is known as Anand or Swanand. When artist begins his or her aesthetic journey, he goes to the next level. through Kevalanand or Visheshanand. The journey that begins with Anand and Swanand via Kevalanand and Visheshanand goes to next level known as Sadanand or Shivanand. And this journey, when reaches to Brahmanand, artist feels that he is on the right track. When he moves ahead in the right direction, his Brahmanand stage continues and artist feels that he is experiencing something like known as Paramanand. The artist journey from Swanand to Paramanand is the aesthetic journey or the creation that comes out of this experience, this pleasure is known as aesthetics or is known as aesthetic output of the artist. Thus, we must never say that aesthetics is merely about the pleasure, but it's about more than that. Next important thing is that aesthetics is never meaning making. Aesthetics is always making meaningful. I have already told you that aesthetics is about sublimity. Longinus in Western philosophy has commented on this. A thing that pleases all the people all the time is known as a stage where he is doing for the sake of giving pleasure to all. And this sublimity is something which is at the root of aesthetic pleasure, since it is created to give a kind of pleasure and satisfaction to the audiences as well as for the self. It is always meaningful. It takes life of the audiences as well as life of the artist to the next level. Thus, any creation of the artistic pleasure and aesthetic pleasure is always meaningful and substantial. Well, my friends, it's all about aesthetic creation or aesthetic sense or aesthetic philosophy is always about the spirit. And this spirit is indefinite spirit. It is important to note that the real artist always is in the self-bounding spirit. For others, it looks indefinite pleasure or indefinite spirit. But this spirited individual, when creates something in spirited mind, is always full of meanings and it is always meaningful. Next important thing is that as the dancers, all dancers are never expected to do the practice. Their practice must always be aesthetic practice, because this aesthetic practice always gives a special meaning to the individual and community. Next important thing is that the creation, aesthetic creation, is always philosophical creation. Whether it is art for art's sake or whether it is not, that is a debatable question discussed by many critics for many purposes. But the fact remains that aesthetic creation is always philosophical creation. It cannot be ordinary creation. In Western philosophy as well as in Indian philosophy, we come across the term of copy. We come across the term of mimesis. Whether it is a copy of the copy or the worst copy of the best copy or the best copy of the worst copy or copy of the ideal copy. These are the things which are discussed in Indian context and in Western philosophy for different purposes. But when it comes to Saundarya Shastra, the artistic creation is a kind of reflection of the universal truths. That's why individual creation or the artistic creation is about the copy, but this copy is ideal copy or standard copy. This ideal copy is always more real than the real. That's why universal values are found in aesthetics or aesthetic creation. There are many things on which a student is expected to learn about aesthetics when it comes to making a study of aesthetics at the initial stage of the career? There are certain facts with which a student of aesthetics must be familiar. When he wants to understand the concept of aesthetics, he must remember few attributes of aesthetics. These attributes are: number one, it deals with art, nature of the art, and artistic creation. Next important thing is that aesthetic is a set of principles. It's a branch of philosophy, as I said you earlier. It deals with the questions related to beauty. It deals with artistic taste. It deals with metaphysical abstractions. Art, logic, and science of art are the things which are metaphysical, which cannot be understood with bodily senses or physical bodily senses. Basically, aesthetics is mode of appreciation. It is a judgment. It is experienced by senses. To make it simple, ordinary student can look at aesthetics as a process of reasoning, as a process of intuition, as a process of perception. It is a kind of exceptional study which must be undertaken by the students very seriously. It appeals to the senses. It's very subjective. We cannot find one particular definition of aesthetics. It is a dynamic and complex set of relationship. It is sensory perception, and basically from early stage of philosophy, early stage of aesthetics is always, or was always, will always be the integral part of philosophy. Next important thing is, in the world or at the global level, aesthetics is all about art criticism. In Italy, German aestheticians looks at aesthetics from metaphysical perspective. In Great Britain, people look at aesthetics from ethical perspective. In France, it is studied from psychological perspective. But basically, aesthetics is about a philosophy where the artist creates something for the betterment of the society. We must never forget that dance delights. In the same way, the study of aesthetics delights and illuminates the individual. As dance makes the individual more comfortable and to be in style and touch the chord of the individuals to bring back to the normalities and live life in style. The study of aesthetics makes the individual more comfortable, more prominent. There are many ways from which we can look at the study of aesthetics, but to summarize, we can say that aesthetics is all about experience of beauty and beautiful. It is basically a kind of metaphysical abstractions. It is about unique sort of values. When we begin to make a comprehensive study of aesthetics, we come to know that this subject touches the chord of aesthetic sensibility of the individual. It makes us aware of the grand world of aesthetics, and it motivates the artist to create the things which are much needed in today's context. I would like to conclude by giving reference to current scenario. In today's context, because of COVID-19, most of the individuals in most of the countries are staying at home. And at home, if they don't have aesthetic sense, I will give you the guarantee that they will not be able to enjoy their domestic life. They cannot be either son, daughter, father, mother, husband, wife. In brief, I have to say that if they don't have aesthetic sense, we must not, or we cannot call them as the human beings. Though the study of aesthetics in Western community, in Western philosophy began in 18th century, aesthetics or the study of aesthetics was there, the study of aesthetics is there, and the study of aesthetics will be there. I would like to say that the progress of human society is simply because of aesthetic sense. As individuals wants to live in style, live happy, to be good, they try their best to create the scenario, create the environment where all will be happy, which is the basic ingredient of aesthetics. Thanks a lot. God bless you.